The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets overhead as Dr. Harlan slammed the exam room door, his voice slicing through the stale air like a scalpel. "What the hell were you thinking, Alex? Pushing yourself like that? You're not invincible, kid." His eyes, sharp as broken glass, bored into mine, and for a split second, I swore I saw something flicker behind the fury. Fear, raw and unguarded. But then it was gone, replaced by that familiar wall of disdain, leaving me sprawled on the crinkly paper table, heart pounding not from the sprained ankle he'd just wrapped, but from the way his hands lingered a beat too long on my skin. I hobbled out of the nurse's office that afternoon, the hallways of Lincoln High echoing with the distant roar of Friday's football practice, and whispered to myself, "He hates me. God, he really hates me." It wasn't the first time I'd felt that sting. Dr. Elias Harlan, the school's enigmatic doctor, had made it his personal mission to dismantle every excuse I threw at him for skipping checkups or downplaying my injuries. Baseball tryouts had been brutal. I'd twisted my ankle diving for a line drive, but admitting weakness? Not in my playbook. Not when my dad was already whispering about manning up over dinner, oblivious to the secrets I buried deeper than that old family photo album. Little did I know, as I limped toward the parking lot where my beat-up Honda waited like a loyal dog, that those notes in his drawer, the ones scribbled in his precise, looping script, held the map to everything I thought I knew about him. About us. About the fragile thread of something more that had been weaving itself through the cracks of my guarded heart since the day I first walked into his office, 2 years ago, bleeding from a split lip and a soul that felt even more shattered. That split lip? Courtesy of sophomore year, when the locker room whispers turned into fists. I'd always known I was different. The way my gaze lingered on the curve of Jake's shoulders during gym class, or how the sight of two guys tangled in a hug on TV made my chest ache with a longing I couldn't name. Growing up in Elmwood, Ohio, a speck on the map just outside Cleveland, being gay wasn't a headline. It was a footnote you erased before anyone could read it. My mom baked apple pies for the PTA bake sale, my dad coached Little League with a whistle around his neck, and I was the all-American kid. Straight-A student, varsity hopeful, the one who volunteered at the animal shelter because it looked good on college apps. But secrets have a way of clawing out. It started with a stupid party at Tyler's house. Booze flowing from his parents' liquor cabinet, bass thumping through the walls like a migraine. I'd had one too many shots of something that tasted like regret, and when Jake cornered me in the basement, his breath hot against my ear, slurring, "Come on, Alex, just mess around a little. No one's watching," I froze. Not because I didn't want to, God, the electricity between us could have lit up the whole damn state, but because the room spun with the weight of what came after. I shoved him off, mumbled something about needing air, and bolted upstairs, straight into the path of Brandon, the team's golden boy, who caught the tail end and twisted it into ammo. The punch landed before I could blink, his ring splitting my lip like overripe fruit. Blood bloomed warm and metallic on my tongue as I hit the deck, the laughter echoing like thunder. "Freak," Brandon spat, and the word lodged in my throat sharper than the gravel under my palms. I drove home that night, one hand on the wheel, the other pressing a wadded-up McDonald's napkin to my face, tears blurring the taillights of semis on I-71. By Monday, the whole school buzzed with it. Alex the queer, outed not by choice, but by cruelty. That's when Dr. Harlan entered the picture, or crashed into it, more like. I'd avoided the nurse's office like it was Plague Central, but Coach Rivera dragged me there after practice, muttering about liability and not turning my star shortstop into roadkill. The door creaked open to a room that smelled of antiseptic and old coffee, walls lined with faded posters about STDs and stress relief that no one ever read. And there he was, mid-30s, broad-shouldered in a lab coat that hung like it was tailored for a life less ordinary. Dark hair tousled as if he'd just rolled out of bed after wrestling demons. His name tag read, Drive E. Harlan M.D., but the E stood for Elias, a fact I'd Googled later that night in a fever of curiosity. "Sit," he said, not looking up from his chart, voice like gravel under tires. I perched on the table, legs swinging nervously, and he finally glanced my way, hazel eyes narrowing at the swelling. No preamble, no small talk. He snapped on gloves with a crack that made me flinch, tilted my chin with fingers that were surprisingly gentle, and probed the cut. This from a fight? His tone was flat, accusatory, like I'd wasted his time on purpose. Yeah, I muttered, staring at the linoleum tiles, counting the scuffs to avoid his gaze. Practice got intense. He snorted, a sound so derisive it stung worse than the peroxide he dabbed on next. Practice doesn't split lips, Alex. Lies like that, they'll kill you faster than any punch. He worked in silence after that, stitching the wound with neat, efficient pulls, 3 tiny X's that itched like accusations under the skin. When he finished, he peeled off the gloves and tossed them in the bin, finally meeting my eyes. You're cleared for light activity, but come back if it festers. And next time, tell the truth. It's the only thing that heals. I nodded, mumbling thanks, and fled, his words chasing me down the hall like smoke. He hated me already. I could feel it in the way he stripped away my defenses without mercy. Or so I thought. What I didn't know, scribbled in the margins of my file that he updated that very afternoon, was, patient exhibits classic avoidance patterns, deflection via humor, minimization of injury. Strong vital signs, resilient. Recommend follow-up on emotional front. Signs of isolation. Potential for growth if trust established. That was the first note, the first crack in the facade. But back then, all I felt was exposed, raw, like he'd seen straight through to the boy who cried himself to sleep that night, wondering if Elmwood would ever feel like home again. The weeks blurred into a tense routine. School became a minefield. Sidelong glances in the cafeteria, graffiti scrubbed half-heartedly from my locker, F at G. Whispers that followed me like shadows. I threw myself into baseball, swinging bats until my palms blistered, because out there on the diamond, under the floodlights of Memorial Field, I could pretend I was just Alex the athlete, not Alex the target. Dad noticed the bruises, the late nights, but chalked it up to growing pains, slapping my back with a grin that said he was proud. Mom? She baked extra cookies, left them on my nightstand with notes like "You're my sunshine, kiddo," but her eyes held questions she never voiced. Dr. Harlan became an unwelcome constant. Every checkup, every pulled muscle or fever from pushing too hard, he'd haul me in and dismantle me piece by piece. "You're anemic, eat something green for once," he'd snap, shoving a vitamin bottle at me. Or, "That cough? From stress, not the flu. Talk to someone, or it'll bury you." Always that edge, that judgment, like I was a puzzle he resented solving. Once, after a particularly brutal game where I'd ignored a twisted knee, he cornered me in the parking lot, rain sheeting down like judgment from the Midwest skies. "Get in the truck," he growled, nodding to his battered Ford F-150, rust creeping along the edges like veins. "I'm fine. Now." It wasn't a request. I climbed in, soaked to the bone, the cab smelling of pine air freshener and something earthier, like pine forests after rain. He drove in silence to the edge of town, pulled over by the Cuyahoga River where the water churned black under sodium lamps. "Listen, Alex," he said finally, killing the engine, the sudden quiet amplifying the patter on the roof. "You're killing yourself out there. The team's not worth it if you're broken." His words hung heavy, and for the first time I pushed back. "Easy for you to say. You don't know what it's like, being the punchline, the freak show. Every day, it's like walking on eggshells, waiting for the next hit." He turned then, face half-shadowed, jaw tight. "You think I don't know isolation? Think being the town doc makes me immune?" His voice cracked, just a hair, but enough to make me lean in. "I see you, kid, more than you think. But seeing and fixing, that's on you." I don't know why I blurted it. Maybe the rain, maybe the vulnerability cracking through his armor. "Then why do you act like you hate my guts?" His laugh was bitter, short. "Hate? That's rich." He restarted the truck, jaw set. "Get some rest. Or don't. Your call." Dropped me at home without another word, leaving me staring at the taillights fading into the storm, heart a tangled mess of anger and something dangerously close to hope. Unbeknownst to me, in his notes that night, confrontation by river, patient verbalized alienation effectively. Defenses lowering. Rapport building, albeit fractiously. Athletic prowess masks deeper vulnerabilities. Recommend counseling referral, but tread lightly. He's got fire. Needs kindling, not a blaze. If I'd read that then, maybe I'd have seen the pattern. The barbs as shields, the silences as space for me to breathe. But hindsight's a luxury, and back in sophomore year, all I saw was an adversary in a white coat, oblivious to the way my pulse quickened whenever he said my name. Summer came like a fever dream, sweltering practices under the relentless Ohio sun, the air thick with cut grass and possibility. I worked at the local diner, flipping burgers for tips, dodging questions from regulars about that fight with vague smiles. Jake avoided me, guilt etched in his averted eyes, and Brandon? He played the reformed bully, slapping my back in the halls like we were brothers. Forgiveness? Not yet. Survival? Every damn day. Dr. Harlan popped up unexpectedly one sticky July afternoon, sliding onto a stool at the counter, lab coat swapped for a faded Blue Jackets tee that hugged his frame in ways that made my throat dry. Coffee? Black, he ordered, eyes scanning the menu without really seeing it. I poured, hands steady by force of will, and set it down with a clink. Document. What brings you to the grease pit? Needed a break from paperwork. He sipped, winced at the heat. And you? Still dodging checkups. I leaned on the counter, wiping it absently. Only when I can. Can't have you yelling at me for living. His gaze flicked up, holding mine a beat too long. Yelling's for when I care, Alex. Silence? That's indifference. The words landed soft, almost tender, and the diner faded. The sizzle of the grill, the hum of the AC, until it was just us, suspended in that charged space. Care. The word echoed long after he left. Tip folded into a napkin with a scrawled, "Take your vitamins." I pocketed it like contraband, wondering if the hate was thawing, or if I was just desperate for it to. By fall, junior year loomed like a storm front. Tryouts crushed me. Coach benched me for the ankle, whispering about distractions. Code for the rumors that clung like humidity. I threw myself into studies, AP Bio devouring nights, but the isolation gnawed. That's when I started journaling, scribbles in a battered moleskine. Why does he look at me like I'm a bomb about to go off? And why do I want to explode just to see what he'd do? One crisp October Tuesday, post-midterms haze, I twisted my wrist sliding into second base. The nurse's office again, familiar as an old scar. Dr. Harlan wasn't gentle this time. His exam was thorough, probing, fingers tracing tendons with a focus that bordered on intimate. "Idiot," he muttered, but his touch said otherwise. "You're progressing, stronger grip, better form. But this? Reckless. Progressing." The word warmed me from the inside, unbidden. "You keep tabs on my games?" "Part of the job." He taped the wrist, efficient as ever. "School's small. Word travels." As I stood to go, he hesitated, hand on the door. "Hey, there's a support group in Cleveland, LGBTQ youth. Wednesdays. No pressure." His eyes softened, just a fraction. "If you ever need it." The offer hung there, vulnerable, and I grabbed it like a lifeline. "Maybe. Thanks." Document. That night, in his notes. Wrist strain minor. Overall conditioning improved 15% per PT evals. Emotional breakthrough, accepted resource offer. Monitoring for follow-through. Kid's got heart. Let's not break it. Heart. If only I'd known. Winter gripped Elmwood like a jealous lover. Snow blanketing the fields in deceptive peace, turning Memorial Stadium into a ghost of summer glory. I attended that first support group meeting on a whim. The drive to Cleveland a blur of salted highways and radio static, playing old Springsteen tracks that made my chest tight with homesick longing. The community center smelled of burnt coffee and hope, a circle of folding chairs occupied by faces that mirrored fragments of my own fractured self. The quiet artist with tattoos snaking up his arms, the loud theater kid who cracked jokes to deflect pain, the elder statesman in his 40s sharing stories of Stonewall like bedtime tales. I sat silent mostly, nursing a styrofoam cup, but when it circled to me, "Alex, anything?" the words tumbled out. "It's like Baseball's my armor, but even that's cracking. And this doctor at school? He acts like he wants to fix me, but it feels like he's just waiting for me to shatter. Laughter rippled, empathetic, and for the first time, the weight lifted a sliver. On the drive home, ice crystals feathering the windshield, I felt seen, not as a problem but as a person mid-journey. School ramped up the pressure. Junior year meant SATs and college fairs, recruiters eyeing me like fresh meat despite the benchwarm status. Dad ramped up the pep talks. You're a Harlan, wait, no, a Whitaker. Tough stock. Don't let the noise get to you. Irony that, sharing a surname with the man who seemed hell-bent on unraveling me. Mom sensed the undercurrents, slipping books under my door. It's okay to be different hidden inside a dog-eared copy of The Catcher in the Rye. I devoured them both, highlighter bleeding yellow across pages like unspoken confessions. Dr. Harlan's office became my reluctant confessional. A flu shot turned into a rant about cafeteria food. A routine physical devolved into me admitting the group's existence. It's helping, I said, sleeve rolled up, needle poised. Talking, makes the hate feel less like a hurricane. He nodded, pressing a cotton ball to the prick. Good. Hurricanes pass, but foundations? Build those solid. His voice was gruff, but the pause after spoke volumes. A bridge extended, tentative. I crossed it, asking, what about you? Ever feel like that? Like the town's got you pinned? His laugh was low, self-deprecating. Every damn day, small towns chew up outsiders. I moved here from Philly 5 years back. Big city dreams, ended up patching scrapes and prescribing patience. He capped the syringe, eyes distant. But you? Your native soil, roots deep. Don't let weeds choke him. Outsider. The word resonated, painting him in new strokes. The faint Philly lilt under his Midwestern mask. The way he fiddled with his stethoscope like a worry stone. I left with a lollipop, stupid, childish, and a spark of curiosity that warmed the February chill. Spring thawed the ground, and with it, baseball season ignited. I earned my spot back, gloves snapping line drives, the crack of the bat a symphony that drowned the jeers. Crowds filled the stands, Elmwood blue bleeding into rival red, and for those 9 innings, I was free, wind in my hair, dirt under nails, the team's rhythm pulsing like a shared heartbeat. Jake thawed too, tentative high fives evolving into post-game beers at the river, apologies slurred under neon signs. I was an ass, man. Didn't mean to out you like that. Forgiven? I said, clinking bottles, but the scar lingered, a reminder that trust was glass, fragile and sharp. Dr. Harlan showed at my first home game, incognito in the bleachers with a thermos and a worn scorecard. I spotted him between innings, marking plays with that precise pen, and nearly bobbled a grounder. After the win, 7-4 over Riverside, he waited by the fence, clapping slow as I jogged off. Solid double, Whitaker. Forms sharpening. Keep that elbow high. You watched. Heat crept up my neck. Not from the sprint. Perks of the job. His smile was rare, crooked, transforming his face from stern to striking. Proud of you, kid. That's progress. Proud. The word lodged in my ribs, sweet as stolen sugar. We talked then, really talked, leaning on the chain link as fireflies winked to life. He shared snippets. Med school burnout in Philly, a bad breakup that chased him to Ohio, the quiet solace of stargazing from his porch overlooking the flats. Stars don't judge, he said, voice soft. They just are. I confessed the journal, the fears of college apps screaming diversity hire instead of merit. What if I'm just the gay kid token? Not the player, not the scholar. His hand landed on my shoulder, firm, anchoring. You're all of it, Alex. And more. Don't let fear rewrite your story. The touch lingered, electric, and when he pulled away, the air hummed with unspoken what-ifs. That night, his notes glowed under desk lamp. Game observation. Peak performance, confidence up 20%. Post-game dialogue revealing. Patient articulating ambitions clearly. Romantic undercurrents noted, mutual, Proceed with caution. He's blooming. Nurture, don't prune. Blooming. If I'd glimpsed that, the world might have tilted sooner. Instead, betrayal brewed in the shadows, waiting to eclipse the light. Senior year dawned golden, leaves turning the quad into a postcard. College acceptances trickled in. Ohio State on full ride, dreams of Buckeye Stadium dancing in my head. But Elmwood's underbelly stirred. Brandon, ever the opportunist, wormed into the team's inner circle, his reformed act cracking under booze-fueled bravado. One locker room huddle, post-scrimmage sweat still slick, he cornered Jake. Still mooning over Whitaker? Thought you were over that fag phase. The slap echoed, Jake's fist connecting with Brandon's jaw, a solidarity I'd never expected. But whispers spread, twisted. Jake defending me meant more fuel for the fire. Texts pinged my phone at midnight. Ferry and his night, cute. Anonymous, vicious, but they pierced all the same. Dr. Harlan noticed the haggard eyes at my annual physical. What's eating you? He pressed, blood pressure cuff squeezing like accusation. Just noise. I deflected, but he didn't buy it. Noise kills dreams, Alex. Spill. So I did, the texts, the isolation creeping back. He listened, chin in hand, then stood abruptly. Come on. My office now. Not the nurse's. His private one, tucked behind the gym, bookshelves groaning with medical tomes and dog-eared sci-fi paperbacks. He brewed tea, chamomile, steaming, and we sat on mismatched armchairs, the space intimate as a heartbeat. You're stronger than this, he said, passing the mug. But strength isn't solo. Lean kid. On me if nowhere else. The permission undid me. I leaned forward, confessing the crush I'd buried under layers of denial. Not on Jake, not on some faceless future, but on him. The doc with hazel eyes that saw too much, hands that healed without trying. It's stupid. You're, you, and I'm just. Not just, he interrupted, voice rough. Never just. His knee brushed mine, accidental intentional, and the room shrank to breaths shared, tension coiling like spring wire. We didn't cross the line, not then. But as I left, his hand grazed my arm. You're not alone, Alex. Remember that. Promise wrapped in caution. Notes that evening. Confidential consult. Patient disclosed attraction, reciprocal, suppressed. Ethical minefield. Transfer care? No. Rapport too vital for his arc, focus on empowerment. His skills? Athletic, emotional, progressing exponentially. Hearts involved, mine too. God help us. Reciprocal. The word I'd kill to hear aloud. But fate, cruel curator, had other plans. Summer before senior year. Internships and road trips, the Cuyahoga shimmering under July moons. I volunteered at the clinic, shadowing Dr. Harlan, filing charts, fetching supplies, stealing glances over clipboards. Our rhythm synced. His dry humor cutting my nerves, my energy lightening his load. Late shifts ended with drives to the river, windows down, sharing playlists. His classic rock clashing with my indie folk, laughter bridging the gap. One night, stars carpeted the sky. He parked by the bend where willows wept into the water. Alex, he started, voice gravelly. This us. It's complicated. I know. Heart hammering. But worth it. His hand found mine in the dark, thumb tracing knuckles. Dangerously. The kiss was inevitable, soft, searching, tasting of mint and midnight promises. Fireworks behind my eyes, his stubble rasping gentle against my jaw. We pulled back, breathless, foreheads pressed. Slow, he murmured. We do this right. Right. The word anchored us through August, stolen moments in clinic corners, texts lighting my phone like beacons. Proud of your pitch today. E. But betrayal slithered in on Labor Day weekend. Brandon, sniffing for leverage in his own college scramble, hacked Jake's phone. Screenshots of our river talks, blurry but damning. He forwarded them to Coach. Anonymous tip. Whitaker's distracting the team. Check this. Coach hauled me in Monday. Face thunderous. Explain. The images burned. Me and Elias, silhouetted, hands linked. This true. I froze, world tilting. It's not what. Save it. You're off the team. Indefinitely. The door slammed, echoing finality. Panic clawed. I raced to the clinic, bursting in on Elias midchart. Brandon, he outed us. To coach. Everything. His face drained, then hardened. Shit. Alex, You what? Knew the risks. Hurt lashed out, unchecked. This is on you. Your slow got me benched. The slap of words landed hard. I never asked you to hide. But yeah, I knew. And I chose you anyway. Voice breaking. Go. Before I make it worse. I stormed out, tears hot, betrayal a bitter pill. Notes abandoned that day. Crisis. Exposure via leak. Patient reeling, rightfully. My fault. Compromised judgment. Progress halted. Rebuild trust? Possible but scarred. Scarred. Understatement of the century. Autumn leaves crunched underfoot like brittle apologies as I navigated the fallout. Benched from baseball, the diamond I'd claimed as sanctuary became a spectator sport. Watching from the bleachers, ghost of my former self, cheers mocking the void. Coaches indefinite, stretched into weeks. Whispers evolving from rumors to legend. Alex the seducer, corrupting the dock, tanking the team's shot at states. Jake stood by me, fists clenched in solidarity, but even he couldn't stem the tide. Dad's disappointment hit hardest. Silent dinners where forks scraped plates like indictments. What happened, son? You were our star. I messed up. I choked out, throat tight. Mom's hand squeezed mine under the table. Her quiet will fix it, the only buoy. Elias? Radio silence. No texts, no clinic pop-ins. I haunted the nurse's office under flimsy pretenses. Stomach aches, headaches, hoping for a glimpse, but he delegated to the RN. Eyes averted when paths crossed in the hall. The rejection carved deeper than Brandon's fist ever could. A hollow ache that echoed in empty evenings, journal pages filling with rants. You saw me, then looked away. Was it all a lie? Group in Cleveland became Lifeline 2.0. Betrayal's a thief, the theater kid said, passing tissues. Steals your light, but you reclaim it. Shine brighter. I nodded, but inside, rage simmered. At Brandon, at Elias, at myself for believing in fragile things. Halloween brought the storm's eye. A bonfire party at the old quarry. Flames leaping like accusations. Costumed kids shedding inhibitions with cheap beer. I went as a zombie shortstop, ironic armor. Nursing a solo cup by the pit. Flames warming skin but not soul. Jake dragged me into a game of truth or dare. Circle closing like a noose. When the bottle spun to me, truth. What's the real story with Harlan? Laughter tittered. Expectant. I swallowed fire. He's the best man I know. And yeah, we kissed. Once. It was real. Gasps rippled. But Jake's nod steadied me. Screw the rest. Brandon lurked opposite, smirk faltering. Later, as embers died, he cornered me by the trucks. Think you're a hero now? Doc's just slumming it. Philly boy playing savior in hayseed town. Fists balled, but Jake appeared, shoulder to shoulder. Back off, man. Your game's done. We drove home in loaded quiet, Jake's hand brief on my knee, brotherly, affirming. You're brave, Alex. Don't let this dim you. Brave. The word mocked as I scrolled Elias's sparse socials that night. A Philly skyline throwback, captioned routes and routes. Was I the route he regretted? November's chill deepened the rift. College apps loomed, essays bleeding vulnerability. Identity isn't a hurdle. It's the high jump. Ohio State replied, waitlist. A gut punch, dreams deferred. I confronted coach post-practice, rain lashing the office window. Give me another shot. I deserve it. He sighed, rubbing temples. It's not just the picks, kid. It's the distraction. Harlan's under review. Superintendent's breathing down my neck. You too. It's messy. Review. The word ignited fury. I stormed to the clinic, pounding Elias's door until it yielded. He looked wrecked, ties loosened, eyes shadowed. Alex. Under review? Because of me. Voice cracked. You ghosted. And now this? He deflated, gesturing me in. Door shut, world muffled. I had to. Protect you, us. Reported the leak myself. Brandon's suspended pending investigation. But the damage. He raked hands through hair. I can't lose this job. Or you. Lose me? You already did. Tears hot, traitorous. I thought you saw me, skills, progress, all of it. But you bailed. His face crumpled, stepping close. I see you, Alex. Every swing, every word in group you shared, every late-night text that kept me sane. This isn't bailing. It's building walls to keep the storm out. Hand cupped my jaw, thumb brushing tears. I hate this. Hate hurting you. Then don't. The plea hung, and he pulled me in. Embrace fierce, stubble against cheek, heartbeat sinking to mine. No kiss, just holding, a dam against the flood. We talked till midnight. His fears of power imbalance, my terror of invisibility. Slow was stupid, he admitted. Should have fought harder. Fight now, I whispered. With me. Dawn broke as I left, tentative pact sealed. Notes, frantic in his drawer. Reconciliation volatile but vital. Patience resilience shines. Articulated needs clearly, no deflection. Athletic return pending. Emotional growth exponential. Love complicates, deepens. Anchor him. Anchor. Finally, a glimpse, if only I'd peeked. Thanksgiving thawed the ice. Dad cornered me in the garage. Turkey basting forgotten. Heard about the team. And Harlan. Pause. Heavy. If it's real, son, own it. Life's too short for half measures. Coming from him, it was gospel. Mom hugged tighter that night, whispering, proud, always. Game reinstatement came swift. Superintendent cleared Elias after Brandon confessed. Tears and Daddy's lawyer smoothing edges. First pitch back. Crowd roar. Elias in stands, scorecard in hand. The double I ripped? For him. Post-win, he met me at the fence, eyes shining. That's my boy. Your boy. Claimed. Cherished. December danced in with snow globe magic. Secret dates. Ice skating on the pond. Mittens brushing. Drives to Cleveland for indie films. Hands laced in the dark. Elias opened up. Philly scars. A college love lost to AIDS in the 90s shadow. The clinic his redemption. You remind me hope's not extinct, he'd say, voice husky. But conflict-crested New Year's. A rival scout from Michigan whispered doubts. Distraction risk? Pass. Rejection stung, but Elias's rage matched mine. They're blind. You're gold. Gold benches don't pay. I snapped, frustration boiling. Maybe you're the distraction, making me dream too big. The fight erupted in his kitchen. Mulled wine cooling untouched. I'm holding you back? Hurt flashed. Raw. Thought we were in this. We are, until it's not enough. Door slam. Tires screeching into night. Alone in my room, sobs racking, journal damning. Pushed him away. Again. Progress? Or sabotage? His notes. Anguished. Quarrel. Patient projecting insecurities onto relationship. Skills plateaued under pressure. Scout feedback hit hard. My role? Support, not savior. Reassess boundaries. Love's a marathon, not sprint. Boundaries. The word haunted as reconciliation brewed. January's frost mirrored my resolve. Group urged therapy. Solo sessions with a counselor downtown. Unpacking the not enough mantra dad unwittingly seated. Elias attended one. Observer's chair. Hand squeezing mind post session. We're good, he affirmed. Better. Baseball ramped. Indoor cages echoing swings. Form honed to razor. Elias's evals? Gold stars. Batting average conceptual. Patience at plate mirrors emotional maturity. Progress. From reactive to reflective. February bloomed unlikely. Valentine's at a hole-in-the-wall Italian joint. Candlelight gilding his smile. To skills, he toasted. And the heart wielding them. Heart. Mine wide open. But March marched in betrayal's echo. Anonymous email to the principal. Grainy pics from the quarry party, twisted narrative, Harlan corrupting student. Investigation loomed, Elias suspended pending review. Panic clawed. I rallied. Jake testifying, group letters pouring in, even Dad cornering the super. Leave the man alone. He's family. Through it, Elias held steady, porch confessions under budding maples. This tests us, he said, arms around me. But we're unbreakable. Unbreakable? Nearly. The board cleared him. Pics debunked. Sender traced to a jealous ex-assistant. Victory tasted sweet, but scars lingered. April showers washed clean. Prom loomed, tux fittings and corsage panics. Elias pinned a boutonniere on me, fingers lingering. Handsome devil. Dance with me. Waltz in his living room, radio crooning Sinatra, steps sinking like basses stolen. Always. Notes triumphant. Suspension resolved. Trust fortified. Patience, advocacy pivotal, leadership emerging. Romantic arc deepening. Humanistic growth evident. He's not just surviving, he's thriving. Thriving. The prelude to climax. May unfurled in a frenzy of finals and fields. Elmwood High pulsing with pre-graduation fever. Baseball peaked. District semis against arch-rival Kent. Stakes high as heartbeats. I trained till muscles screamed. Elias's sidelines cheers a talisman. Elbow up. Yes. Off-field. Our rhythm deepened. Weekend hikes in Cuyahoga Valley. Trails winding through fern-choked paths. Hands swinging free. Remember sophomore year? He'd tease, bumping shoulders. Thought you were allergic to advice. Still am. Yours just sticks. Laughter easy. Love a quiet undercurrent. But undercurrents surge. The betrayal's ghost resurfaced Memorial Day weekend. A barbecue at Coach's turning ugly. Brandon, uninvited but crashing, cornered me by the grill, beer loose tongue wagging. Still sucking up to the doc? Heard he's recommending you for early college. Pity pull. The jab landed low. Elias had pushed my app to a summer program at Case Western. Med shadowing. Jealous. I shot back, but he laughed venomous. Nah, just pitying. You're his charity case, notes say it all. He swigged, smug. Progress boy, right? Notes. The word snagged a hook in flesh. What notes? Clinic files, saw him when I volunteered last year. All about your potential. Cute. He wandered off, oblivious to the earthquake he'd triggered. I confronted Elias that night, unannounced, pounding his door till it swung wide. You keep notes on me? Like some lab rat. His face shifted, shock to sorrow. Alex, calm. It's standard, tracking health, growth. Growth. Voice rising, hurt lancing. Brandon saw them. Called me charity. Is that what I am? Your project. No, God, no. He reached, but I recoiled. It's more. Let me show you. Reluctant, I followed to his study, desk drawer yielding a binder. My name tabbed, pages thick with ink. Heart pounding, I flipped. Dates from that first stitch, meticulous logs. Lip laceration. Minor, but indicative of assault. Referred to counselor, declined. Monitor for PTSD. Then, summer. Diner encounter. Vitality high, but anemia persists. Vitamin compliance poor, stubborn. Endearing. Games. Double versus Riverside. Technique refined. Confidence evident. Emotional parallel breaking through slumps. Pages turned. Breath catching. Group mentions. Shared isolation. Breakthrough in articulation. Our first kiss. Riverside, October 15th. Reciprocal affection confirmed. Ethical concerns noted. Joy paramount. Fights. New Year's rift. Projection identified. Rebuild via therapy successful. Scribe loving, Valentine's. Heart skills unmatched. Thriving under pressure. Charity. No adoration archived in loops and margins. You saw all this. Tears blurred ink. Every step. Voice thick. Hated the distance. Loved the watch. Your progress? It's my pride. I collapsed into him. Sobs muffled in his shirt. Thought you hated me. All those barbs. Defenses, he confessed. Scared of this, of us. But never hate. Admiration, Alex. From day one. We held through the storm, binder between us like testament. Climax crested that week. State finals, under stadium lights blazing like judgment. Kent led 3-2, bottom ninth, bases loaded, 2 outs. Crowd a roar, Elias's voice cutting through. Breathe. You've got this. Pitch came, fastball, knee-high. I swung, crack echoing like fate. Ball sailed. Fence-kissing home run. Teammates piling in a dogpile of glory. State's ours, MVP ribbon mine, but the win? Shared. Elias's hug post-game fierce. Whispers lost in cheers. Graduation June heatwave. Caps tossed like confetti prayers. Valedictorian nod went to Sarah, but my speech, class rep, drew tears. Progress isn't linear. It's the notes in the margins, the hands that hold when we falter. To those who saw our skills before we did, thank you. Eyes locked on Elias in the crowd, hazel shining. Post-ceremony, under oak shade, Dad clapped his back. Take care of my boy. Mom's wink conspiratorial. Jake's bro hug. Knew you'd homer it. Betrayal's echo? Brandon expelled. Scholarship revoked. Karma's quiet justice. Groups celebrated with pizza. Toasts to futures unbound. But Climax's shadow loomed. Ohio State acceptance? Full ride. But Case's summer program meant leaving Elias sooner. Philly's calling me back. He admitted one porch night. Stars indifferent. Job offer. Better pay. Less scrutiny. Panic surged. Now, when we're visiting professorship, trial run, hand in mine. But you, Columbus, us, I vowed. Distance tests, doesn't break. Packing blurred July, duffel stuffed with jerseys and journals. Last night, River Drive, blanket spread, meteor shower streaking sky. Read to me, he said, head in lap. I opened the binder, his notes, my voice. Resilient, fire-hearted, unstoppable. Laughter mingled tears. Love-making gentle. Unspoken vows and touches. No rush, just presence. Departure dawn. Airport hug eternal. Notes continue? I teased, throat tight. Every page. Kiss salt sweet. Love you, Alex Whitaker. Love you, Elias Harlan. Flight lifted. Ground receding. Heart full. Progress? Ours, etched indelible. Notes, his final. Departure. Bittersweet milestone. Patient. Partner launched. Skills honed. Heart whole. Human arc complete. From fracture to flight. Mine too. Columbus thrummed with Buckeye energy. Scarlet waves crashing stadium steps. Lecture halls buzzing with ambitions sharp as new cleats. Case's program immersed me. Shadowing surgeons, suturing pigs' feet till fingers cramped. Nights devolving into study marathons fueled by vending machine coffee. But the real education? Solitude's sharp edge. Texts from Elias bridged the miles, saw your TEDx clip. Eloquence off charts. Missed that voice. Calls stretched till batteries died. Voices weaving through static. His Philly tales, my dorm dramas. Fall semester hit like a curveball. Ohio State's team scouted me early. Walk-on tryouts. Gloves slapping leather in echoey gyms. First practice. Nerves jangling, but the swing connected. Coaches gnawed a bomb. Whitaker. Got pop. Stick around. Pride swelled. Texted instantly. Made the cut. Your drills paid off. Always knew. Fly high, shortstop. But distance gnawed. Holidays loomed. Thanksgiving solo in a dining hall turkey trough. Group chat pinging Elmwood feasts. Jake's invite. Crash hours. Mom's pies miss you. I drove. Highways unspooling like old film reels. Pulling into driveways snow-dusted. Mom's hug enveloping. Elias waited inside. Fire crackling. Table groaning abundance. Surprise! He grinned, pulling me close. Philly can wait for seconds. Weak blurred bliss. Sledding hillsides. Raking leaves into forts. Nights tangled in his bed. Whispers charting futures. Stay, I murmured. Dawn light gilding his shoulder. Tempting, but your sky's big. Don't clip wings for me. Wings. The word propelled me back. January winds whipping resolve. Spring semester crested with internships. Peds ward. Tiny patience gripping my fingers. Resilience mirroring my own. Elias visited once. Incognito weekend. Botanical gardens. Cherry blossoms shedding pink confetti. Hands laced under boughs. Progress report? He teased, tracing my palm. Valedictorian vibes. You. Clinic steady. Notes piling, yours mostly. Wink conspiratorial. Partners arc. Stellar. Heart skills masterful. Laughter bubbled. Love a steady hum. Conflicts whisper returned May. Philly offer solidified. Tenure track gleaming. It's right, he said, voice strained over video. Stability. For us. Us across states? Doubt crested. What if it frays? Won't. Thread strong. Your swing proves it. But eyes held shadows. Graduation June blaze. Cap and gown heavy with memory. Diploma gripped like a promise. Family in stands. Dad's whoop. Mom's tears. Jake's sign. Homer King. Elias. Front row. Rose bouquet in hand. Hazel proud. Post-ceremony brunch. Toasts clinking. To Alex. The kid who hit grand slams in life. Elias's later. Private. To margins. Where real stories live. Summer scattered us. My MLB scout camp in Arizona. Cacti Stark Sentinels. His Philly orientation. Skyline jagged hope. Calls bridged. Drove through a dust storm. Felt like you, whirlwind. His laugh. Blizzard here, you're calm. But August storm broke. Late night ring. Voice wrecked. Offers poison. Dean outed my conflict. Revoked. Back to square one. Rage boiled. Because of us? Screw them. Come here. Can't uproot. You? Draft dreams. Drafts wait. You don't. Decision crystallized. Deferral emails. Bags packed for Elmwood return. Surprise airport landing. His face crumpling at baggage claim. What? Notes don't write themselves. Collapse into arms, home. Fall anchored us. Joint life in his cottage. Clinic desk shared. My coaching little league kids swings echoing mine. Baseball pros circled. Minor league nod from Cleveland Guardians. Spring training call-up. Climax revisited semis, now pro scout eyes. Bases loaded, ninth. Echoes of high school roar. Swing connected, towering fly. Fence kiss, teammates mobbing. Elias in stands, scorecard marked. Grand Slam. Life edition. Post-game. Under lights. MVP again? Yours. Betrayal's final echo? Brandon's letter. Forwarded. Apology scrawled. Prison ink from fraud bust. Saw your game on TV. Proud, man. Oh, you worlds. Forgiveness? Mailed back. Paid in full. Swing true. Winter wrap gentle. Holidays with families merged. Mom's pie. Dad's tales. Group now mine to lead, circles widening. Spring bloomed engagements. Not ours, but Jake's wedding. Best man toast. To seeing progress in the mess. Love's the ultimate stat. Elias's ring came July 4th. Fireworks blooming. Neon porch. Marry me? Notes eternal. Yes, every margin. Vows exchanged autumn leaves. River bend witness. Family orbiting. I Elias take you Alex skills heart home. Humanistic close. No fairy dust. Just grit and grace. Cleveland contract signed. Mound first pitch October chill. Crowd chant. Elias's cheer loudest. Ball arced true. Life's arc mirroring. From hated glances to handwritten love. Notes. Final page. Union. Culmination. Partner's journey. From fracture to champion. Mine intertwined. Progress. Infinite. Grateful. Infinite. The word lingers as do we. Fields forever green. Hearts in perpetual swing.